Good morning. The Cuyahoga County Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee meeting for Wednesday, January 31st, 2024 will please come to order, and the clerk will call the roll.
And just as a reminder to all who are in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Mr. Miller.
Here.
Ms. Conwell.
Present.
Mr. Sweeney.
Present.
Ms. Turner.
Present.
There is a quorum.
Thank you very much, everybody, for being here and being prompt. And the next item on the agenda is public comment. Has anybody signed in?
No, Mr. Chair, no one is signed in.
Thank you. And we have the question of approval of the minutes from the November 22nd, 2023 meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from November 22nd. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Thank you very much. Matters referred to the committee, Resolution 2024-0023.
Resolution number 2024-0023, authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with the City of Cleveland Heights in the amount not to exceed $600,000 for maintenance and repair of storm and sanitary sewers located in County Sewer District number 17.
Good morning, Nicole English from Public Works. This is the annual sanitary agreement that we do with Cleveland Heights. They pay us through a direct bill. We don't collect on their tax duplicate. This is one of the cities that, as they need work, they ask us to do it. We give them a task and they pay us for that directly. $600,000 is the amount that they have budgeted for this year. It is a little bit late. We did hold it because there was no committee 2 weeks ago, but we are continuing service with the city, understanding that this is going through committee.
So because of the lateness, you're requesting second reading suspension, is that correct?
I would appreciate it.
Okay. Are there any questions by my colleagues? Ms. Conwell?
Yes, through the chair to Ms. English. So they reimburse us?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion to refer the resolution for second reading?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Conwell and seconded by Ms. Turner to refer Resolution 2024-0023 with recommendation to leadership to put it on the agenda for the next council meeting for second reading suspension. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Resolution is recommended. Resolution 2024-0044.
Resolution number 2024-0044, authorizing an award on requisition number 13147 and a purchase and sale agreement with Dory Power in the amount not to exceed $725,000 for the property located at 1490 East 191st Street, Euclid, Ohio.
Nicole English with Public Works. This is a property that the BODD is no longer needing, and so they have asked Public Works to lead a RFP process in order to sell it. So we did that, and 3 proposals were submitted. There was a combination of Public Works and BODD employees that scored the proposals, and this Dory Power has been selected. They're paying $725,000 for the property, and they plan to essentially, they work on sustainable energy products, and this would be their business headquarters and offices in this facility.
Questions by my colleagues? So I have a couple questions. Was this proposal the highest price offered?
I believe this one was. John, do you want to? Because we do an RFP of scoring, so there is some criteria in addition to money.
Chairman Miller, John Myers on behalf of Public Works. A number of us have worked on this project. It was not strictly the highest bid. There was one that was slightly higher, but their funding was much more multiple different public fundings and contingencies. And so and didn't have as good a history. So they were not that far apart, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact number, but this was the most solid proposal, and obviously a very good end use of an emerging technology and with these folks who work and teach at Case Western. So for a number of reasons, it was deemed to be the best and
Overall.
and overall.
And what other end uses were proposed by the other two bidders?
I believe one was sort of factory storage, and another one was actually a very interesting use too, which escapes me entirely, but it had some food reuse, a type of newer food service product that was going to be put there. That was the one, though, that they were newer, didn't have the depth of experience, and their funding was much more, multiple sources, all contingent. And so there were some other possible uses, but this was the one that scored the highest overall on all the criteria that we looked at. And BDD is obviously focused on the bottom line as we are, but they felt this was the best.
And would you state your name for the record?
Yes, I'm sorry, John Myers from Public Works.
And is this item needed on suspension, and if so, why?
I believe BODD would appreciate that. They are trying to get these buildings off of their portfolio as quickly as they can, and then this starts the due diligence period.
Any further questions by my colleagues? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to refer Resolution 2024-0044 to the full council with recommendation for second reading suspension. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it. Resolution is recommended. Resolution 2024-0045.
Resolution number 2024-0045, authorizing a purchase and sale agreement with the City of Warrensville Heights in an amount not to exceed $410,000 for the property located at 19700 Miles Road, Warrensville Heights, Ohio.
Good morning again, John Myers for the record on behalf of Public Works. We are here seeking authority to sell a formerly used county engineer service yard in the city of Warrensville Heights, located at 19700 Miles Road. It's approximately 40,000 square foot garage yard building on a little over 5 acres. Back in the early aughts, the county commissioners entered into a lease agreement with the city of Warrensville Heights for a 25-year period that leased this facility to them for a very good rate of $1,000 a year. That lease is due to expire in '28, and it jumps up to $2,500 a year. So this is not a strong economic currently lease, so the city approached us. They're looking to do a joint investment with the Warrensville Board of Education for a common yard, and they thought it better for them to own and control the whole site since they were going to be making a major investment. So they requested that we sell the site to them outright. So they have proposed a $410,000 purchase price to be paid over 10 years. It's a significant benefit to the county on two fronts. One, we shed this from our books for a property that's no longer needed or used by us. We eliminate any liability associated with that. And the compensation from the city is significantly higher through the purchase. As you can see from the previous lease that's in place, it's a rather small annual amount. So it's a win for the city and a win for the county. So we'd like to seek authority to proceed with this sale.
And is it needed on second reading suspension?
We would like to keep it moving, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Conwell?
Through the chair to Mr. Myers, just wanted to confirm, and I think you add the word annual, so the $1,000 we pay is annual.
That's actually income that the city pays us. This is a county-owned asset. The city has a very good lease rate at $1,000 per year. So it's a revenue generating both lease, and this, of course, would be a revenue generating sale now.
So we'll get to be clear, we'll get the 410 from them.
Yes, it will be, it is paid over a 10-year time, but still that number, instead of receiving $1,000 per year, we're going to receive $41,000 per year. And, so it's a significant benefit to the county's bottom line.
Okay, thank you.
Was there any appraisal done, and how was the 410,000 number arrived at?
There's some back and forth between the city, Mr. Chairman. The city had an appraisal in the 300,000 range. The county had an opinion of value that was in the $600,000 range. So this is sort of in between, but the bottom line is that the market value is not as meaningful because it was already under long-term lease for the next almost 30 years at a very low rate. So we're way ahead of where we'd be as far as any market valuation, because we weren't free to sell it at this time. So we felt that it was a fair price to between our two appraisals, and given the long-term lease, it was significantly in the county's benefit to proceed with the sale.
Any further questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And are you moving for second reading suspension?
Second reading under suspension.
Okay. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. It is recommended.
Through the chair, would you please add my name to this legislation?
Okay, please add Councilwoman Turner's name.
Thank you.
Resolution number 2024-0046, making an award on requisition number 13351 to J. Severino Construction in the amount not to exceed $832,094.09 for East Linden Lane Pump Station improvements in the city of Parma.
Nicole English with Public Works. This was a bid that we put out for construction. This is unique in the sense that we are bidding it and running the construction. However, because it's a sanitary project, a pump station, this is 100% Parma's money that's paying for the project. And so there was some issues early on in the bid where this lowest bidder did not meet the DEI goals. They did appeal to the reconsideration panel and had I think the documentation that they provided in their initial bid was not showing they're meeting the goals. However, when they came back to the panel, they had committed themselves to much higher, reaching much higher goals. And we did have information, a letter from the city of Parma asking that we really push this project along. They're in fear that the pump station, if it went down, would cause major problems in their city. And they were concerned with going with the most compliant bidder was significantly over the low bid, and they did not necessarily have those funds to do that. So I think we worked through a plan with this low bidder to up the DEI goals to sort of help our mission in the county while also maintaining the lower bid price for the city. So it's kind of ended up being a win-win, although it took us a little bit of time to get there. So there was 4 bidders. They are the lowest bidder, and we're recommending moving forward with them.
So, did the reconsideration panel formally approve the request as modified?
They did. They issued a letter on December 7th.
Questions by my colleagues? Hearing no questions, I'll make a motion to refer 2024-0046 to the full council with recommendation for second reading suspension.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Ayes have it. Resolution's recommended. Resolution 2024-0047.
Resolution number 2024-0047, authorizing a contract with Sterling Data Center doing business as Blue Bridge Networks in an amount not to exceed $107,640 to lease Tier 3 data center space located at 1255 Euclid Avenue, Cleveland.
Good morning, John Myers again on behalf of Public Works. This is more for IT. It's on your agenda today, and I'll be happy to speak from what I understand. The Sterling Center is the building over here, which used to be the Sterling Linder department store years ago, next to the Union Club. For many, many years, that was the home of the county's data center. And at one point in time, several years ago, the data center was moved to Columbus, essentially. And, but there still was a remaining small amount of space there that's for one of our major switches type of technical apparatus. So we still have an ongoing relationship. It's many ways more of a service contract than a real estate contract, but it has some elements of both. And I know that there's a need for us to have an ongoing relationship with Blue Bridge, who is the owner of that building and the space that we have there.
So am I correct that this space is used to store and operate local equipment that we need to interconnect with the Columbus main operation? Is that the right idea?
Yes, I believe you're correct, Mr. Chairman, but I think also with our whole wide area network here in the Cleveland downtown area as well. So it was something that when we left the building couldn't easily be moved out of that building because all previous routes led to that, so it would have been very expensive to move that particular piece of this. So that's my understanding what this is here before you for.
So do you expect this to be an ongoing, essentially permanent operation, or at some point down the road, is there going to be a change so that this is no longer needed?
I don't, this particular one has some different elements because I believe the prosecutors are involved. But it has to do, I'm sorry that I can't speak more fully to it. It has to do with the needs that associated with our center there and related storage and items necessary to support that function in the county's network.
So could you consult with the IT people on this?
Yes,
and get back to
I'm
me
sorry that
and let me know.
This is not a direct public works function, but I'm happy to gather that and let you all have a more full and complete picture of the need here.
Okay, so you can just send the report to the clerk and we can
Very
let
good.
the council people know.
Certainly.
Okay. Any questions, Ms. Conwell?
I think the chair to Mr. Myers, was it at a reduced cost, the building, when we used it for, because I remember touring that years ago and looking at
Well,
the
this is
data.
much reduced costs from, we leased, multiple floors there. Now this is really more a small little area, and also it's services because they're maintaining some of the atmosphere necessary to keep these IT functions appropriate and any related IT equipment related to that in a positive, safe atmosphere.
So the equipment's there now,
Yes.
and can you bring back to the committee what would be the cost to move it with our,
I will certainly
you
ask.
said the other data center was moved to Columbus, like Columbus, Ohio?
Correct.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, let's get a cost estimate of what it takes to move it permanently. 'Cause wherever you moved it in Columbus, are we paying anything there or no?
Yes, and it's not really it's more of a services than a lease, so I'm not as versed in it. I just remember at the time when it was transferred, I believe it's someplace on the greater Columbus or Ohio State campus, that there's a central data center there that essentially is unfortunately, it's in Franklin County from my personal perspective, but at the time, the decision was made for economics and other reasons that that's where it would be. But this was one leftover piece of it, and I'll work to get you quickly a more complete picture of the need and possible move of that.
Thank you.
Sure.
So we're going to get some
additional.
further information regarding the long-term future, but in the short run, it's pretty clear that we need this.
Yes, this would
And-
not be a quick thing to change,
Right.
even if the decision was made.
So, do I have a motion to move this forward for second reading suspension?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, and the resolution is recommended. Under miscellaneous business, I would just bring to everybody's attention that, that I had a discussion with the administration, and they're working on some pretty significant changes in our contracting process. Among other things, it would raise the threshold required to submit legislation to council rather than the Board of Control from $500,000 to $1,500,000. And it would increase the limit where something has to go to the Board of Control rather than simply being listed in a report at the Board of Control meeting from 5,000 to 25,000, and a host of other changes designed to move things more quickly, but the proposed changes are significant. Legislation has not yet been prepared. It's in early discussion stages, but I just wanted to put it on everybody's radar screen because it does affect Public Works quite extensively.
I look forward to a healthy debate on that topic.
Right, okay. Any,
Will that, when they propose that legislation, or if they do, will that be in your finance committee, or will that be in Public Works?
that would be up to the council president. I think it could be referred either way, yeah. Okay. Any other miscellaneous business? Hearing none, we stand adjourned at 10:27.
Good job, Mr.